Got our opening graphic up. Well, that's... I have screwed up the time yet again. While I fix the time, I'm not good with math, you guys. It's a fact. I try and I try and I try. Right now, it should be calculator, all clear, 7 times 60. And I shouldn't have to use calculator for this. I don't need to do it because 7 times 60 is 420. What? 420? Hold on. Hold tight. Gosh darn it, I'm working on it, you sons of bitches. There we go. All right. You know what? We're going to go ahead and, hello, Steve the Iceberg, Ricky Berg. We'll go with 520 because I don't want to be, supporting the potheads. All right, there we go. So we're... Swear to God. Swear to God. Hello, Ariel girl herself, Steve Ricky Berg, Cobalt. What's up, everybody? Sounds like everybody can hear me, so I'm going to try and take the headphones off now so that I don't forget to take them off later. Zach Parrish, the fucking creator of the magnificent R36 rifle, which I do need to get repaired, sir. Don't think I'm not paying attention to what you have said. Chris Southwick, how you doing? Edward Rocco. Hello, everybody. Zach is, I don't know if Zach is hanging out for the read tonight, but you guys, we just put out a video with the R36 rifle, the recoilless rifle, the preferred weapon of the Planetary Union Raiders, which of course are the special forces, the armored special forces that are capable of traveling from one ship to another ship to board that ship and murder everyone on that ship. Not always, but it happens a lot. Dr. Campbell, how you doing, Recluse Mage? Yes, it should be one more episode tonight. Is not all of Behind Blue Eyes, but it should be one more episode after this, and that should do it up. Now, that may very well be the last track and mixtape. I think 14 tracks is a pretty good mixtape, going back to the old days, unless you got like that Maxell 90-minute each side long play. Now, you kids won't understand what that means. That's called a cassette, and you would put it in a cassette deck and record things from the radio. And you would have to wait until the song that the person you were recording liked, and you would have to wait all night and hit record when that song came on. And then you would have to, even though it was top 40, you have to wait till the songs came on in the right order to tell the proper story, so that when you gave that mixtape to the person you wished to bump uglies with, that it would tell a grand sweeping story, a tapestry, if you will, of your love and devotion and potential affection. That's what a mixtape was back in the day. If anybody remembers making a mixtape for another human being or for yourself, it's okay. Self-love's a good thing. We don't judge. And I don't judge. If you remember making a mixtape for someone, tell me in the comments if you can remember one song from a mixtape that you made for another human being. I would love to hear it. 4X says B-side, flip it over. Look, bro, if you were fully committed, if your heart was pumping, the blood in your veins was coursing to the tune of that person, it was 180 minutes. There's a Maxell 90-minute each side, and all day long, bro. You were making a massive mixtape. Mr. Moore, how are you doing? Cobalt's made many mixtapes back in the day. Cobalt remembers cassettes. Yes. No, I don't. I was going to say I kind of miss them because I'm a very ADHD person, and that planning and waiting process, prefer to keep that all over on the fiction side. Sean, we're talking mixtapes. Do you remember making any mixtapes back in the day? Sean's a bit of a youngin' though. I don't know. Thieves can't, but I can put 9 Inch Nails closer on a mixtape once. All right, let me read you guys the regular screed we go through. Tonight's live read is mixtape track 14, Behind Blue Eyes, part 3. It should finish up with track 15, Behind Blue Eyes, part 4. On tonight's Deep Cuts, episode 89 of Deep Cuts, closing in 100. Can you believe that? We're talking about the intersection of hockey, romance books, and entertainment. It'd be cool if we're talking about field goal kickers. I just made a field goal thing right there. We're talking about heated rivalry the absolute smash hit that is on the streamer HBO Max. And Heated Rivalry comes to deep cuts. No pun intended on that one. It's a spicy. It's a spicy. Okay, let's get back. Now I'll hide this. Oh, and of course, if you're on YouTube, click like. No, slap like. Ring the bell. Click the bell. And subscribe. I'm not good with this. I won't lie. Let us, of course, talk about, let's get our timers up. Let's go to main for a second. Still the countdown cooking. It looks great. Christine says, I still have my mixtapes for myself and my friend she made for me for mixtape. I've converted the mixtape to MP3. Oh my God, that's awesome. I did forget mixtapes for your pals was also an absolute huge thing. I don't think I ever made a mixtape for someone I wasn't trying to get, involved with, but Rob Otto and Dr. Dan Baker, PhD, probably remember better than I do. We all had to listen to the same 3 radio stations every single day for our entire life. Sponsors, of course, of this show are our GoDaddy with our code CJCFOSSIG3, which gives you 99% off the first year of a brand new domain registration, a 3-year domain registration. Pretty good deal. And we're big fans of them. Quince.com, who is sponsoring, providing most of my wardrobe these days. Except, every now and then you got to rock out horror t-shirts, band t-shirts, etc. Dr. Campbell says, a song I put on several mixtapes was, Is It a Crime by Asade? Yes. Nick, Just Another Geek says, I bet Pookie Chang is really into Heated Rivalries. He was also into mixtapes. There was not one top 40 ballad or rock ballad that Pookie did not put on a mixtape for someone. I also think he probably had several paper-based spreadsheets tracking who he was hoping to nail and putting the songs in the spreadsheet and trying to find ways to mitigate investment and save time, because that's who Pookie is. Forex says, I found multiple tapes today, gave them to my teenager. She loves vinyl and cassettes. Got her a Walkman for Christmas. Holy crap. Walkmans are now 40 years old. Let's go back to our advertisers. And of course, stamps.com. Stamps.com, the code Sigler100. If you ship anything of any size, if you're a maker, if you're a doer, if you're a builder, and you have to ship product to people or communicate with people in paper-based format, stamps.com, absolutely the way to go. It's super convenient. And I've been using it for 20 years now. It is a central linchpin of our business where we ship books and we ship merch and we do things like that. So big fan of stamps.com. Use that code, you silly bitches. Let's see. Baby Got Back book. Definitely made a mixtape. Yep. Oh my God, Cobalt. Dust in the Wind was on my first mixtape. Absolutely spectacular. I can't. I made many a mixtape in my day. Oh, that's not working. That's a shame. Let's go back to opening. 1 minute, 14 seconds. And of course, yes, Nick, he used graph paper for paper-based spreadsheets. I think Nick's laughing at me because I'm not sure paper-based spreadsheets were a thing. I think spreadsheets may have been a computer thing. I don't know. My memory is not all of that good. Christine's going to post pics of the tapes she still has. Christine, please send those pictures to info@emptyset.com. We would love to share them. If anybody has mixtape pictures or you still have mixtapes, can take a picture, please send them to info@emptyset.com. We would love to share those pictures the next time that we do a mixtape episode, which could be next episode, could not be. We don't know, but there should be one more. Nick says, people definitely use graph paper that way. Hey, listen, I was supposed to tell you that if you don't want to hear the chit chat, you can fast forward to 00:00, but I forgot because I got excited hanging out with people who know what mixtapes are. So what we are going to do is we're going to start recording. A buzza boom, buzza bing, buzza bang. It's recording just fine. That's great. We'll hide that now. Party! If you didn't have a party song in your mixtape, you were not doing it correctly. I'm going to move your lovely chat to the next window over so I don't have to look at it. Why? I get ready to read you a story. Let's go, bitches. All right, all right, all right. Here we go with Behind Blue Eyes, Part 3. Lord Hilentra is expanding his territory into the foothills of the Broken Spine Mountains. His garrison at the new village of Stonehold has laid waste to villages populated by Tandrites, a culture that has mined these foothills for generations. Hilentra relies on Bismarten, the Warden of Stonehold, to lead his troops against these small villages. One of Bismarten's men, Dovokar, was unable to follow orders to slaughter the villagers of Granite Town. Nicknamed Backstep because he retreats from battle, Dovokar now finds himself on the receiving end of a slaughter. Saluvaunt, a miner mortally wounded by Bismarten's men, survived long enough for 3 mountain witches to find him among the dead. They offered him vengeance against Hilentra and his brutal warden, Bismarten. Dying, with his family gone and nothing left to lose, Saluvaunt accepted. The witches initiated a dark ritual, one meant to turn a grieving man into something far, far worse. And now, Behind Blue Eyes, Part 3. The screams in Stonehold are dying down, not because the attack is dwindling, but rather because there are fewer people left alive to scream. Dovokar swings a foot down to the ladder's top rung. Slowly, quietly, he descends, the sheath for his spearhead and the holster for his 2 spear halves slapping against his thighs. He smells smoke. One of the wooden huts is on fire, maybe more than one. The night's mist is oddly enough to make everything damp and cold, yet not sufficient to quench even the smallest of flames. Stonehold will burn this night. This much he knows for certain. He must reach the hut where Warden Bismarten and 2 soldiers took shelter. If there is a way out of this, Bismarten will find it. The soldiers will rally to him. Dovokar is distantly aware that that's what he is supposed to do, rally to the warden and follow orders, but that's not why he's going. He hears the rattling of armor, a man's heavy breathing, and the thud of boots slapping against wet mud. Dovokar hurries back up the ladder to the walkway and lies flat, just close enough to peek over the edge. He sees a man running for his life, a member of the garrison, half his mail armor torn away and blood sheeting his face, his spear in his hands. Each desperate step kicks up globs of mud. A lone day digger gives chase. The predator's gait is marred by its right rear leg, which is off the ground, folded close to its body. It is wounded from the fighting, but still hungers for more blood. The soldier, Dovokar knows his face, but not his name. He never wanted to know any of their names, runs for the ladder. The soldier is faster than the wounded digger. Dovokar considers assembling his spear as fast as he can, as it's long enough to stab down should the digger try to snap at the soldier's feet when the soldier climbs. Dovokar wants to do that, but his hands won't let go of the walkway's edge. The soldier is almost to the ladder when a shadow steps in front of him. A shadow with glowing blue eyes. The stone hewer, wrapped in strips of dark cloth. That's how the Tandrites bury their dead, in strips of fabric cut from the garments of other village members. The soldier doesn't hesitate. He thrusts his spear at the shadow. The stonehewer sidesteps and brings up a hand to slap the shaft aside. The spearhead pierces only open air as it misses its mark. The soldier's momentum carries him forward. The stonehewer catches his throat, gripping it tight. The soldier, Gavento, his name is Gavento, he always loses at dice, chokes and gasps at the rag-wrapped hand as he's lifted clear off the ground. Not moving, not breathing. Dovokar watches as the soldier seems to shrink in on himself, eyes caving in, arms falling limp. Gavento, who always loses at dice, slowly crumbles to dust that spills down against the wet mud, soaking up moisture as it turns to gray paste. The stonehewer tosses the armor-clad bones aside. Dovokar doesn't breathe. He doesn't blink. Staying absolutely still is the only way to survive. The day-digger limps to the stonehewer. The 200-pound predator seems suddenly meek, its head low like that of a dog who doesn't want to be struck for a minor transgression. A fresh scream, a woman's scream, if not a girl's, echoes from deeper in the town. The stonehewer kneels. He scoops up some of the soldier's ashes, Gavento's ashes, and rubs them against the day-digger's wounded leg. Slowly at first, then with more vigor and violence. The animal yelps in pain, but does not snap its thick jaws at the rag-wrapped man, does not try to pull away. The rubbing stops. The yelping stops. The stonehewer stands. The big animal runs down the street, deeper into the town, looking for more prey, Dovokar assumes. The rag-wrapped shadow turns in place, blue eyes blazing like gems catching the noonday sun. Dovokar can hold his breath no longer. He lets his spent air out in a slow stream, praying the demon below does not hear. The stonehewer strides off. Dovokar watches him walk away, then pulls in a breath as quietly as he can. That demon turned a man to ash. The demon heals beasts that tear men to pieces. Dovokar wants to go home. He wants to see his mother. He has never been so scared. But to avoid a brutal death from flesh-rending teeth or being turned to ash, he can't stay here. He must escape this place. The hut that Warden Bismarten hid in is close. Bismarten will rally survivors to him. Being near the warden offers the best hope to stay alive. And Dovokar desperately wants to stay alive. It takes every ounce of his will to move, but move he does. He again slides a foot over the edge and starts down the ladder. As his feet hit the ground, he hears the hunting whine of a day-digger. Dovokar sprints for the hut where the warden hid, his boots slipping in the mud. The hut is only a few seconds distant. He hears heavy breaths and padding paws and excited whines of the diggers. Have they seen him? How many are there? He reaches the hut and tries to push the door open. It rattles, but does not move. A length of wood bars it from the inside. "Let me in! Warden, let me in! The diggers are coming!" Dovokar waits for the door to open, each heartbeat a dreadful eternity. It does not open. "It's Dovokar! Please let me in! Please!" It does not open. Dovokar hears the hunting whines draw closer. He turns. Down the street, 3 diggers pad toward him, their gleaming blue eyes piercing the night's darkness. The eyes seem to bounce in the mist, 3 pairs of dancers matching each other step for step. The warden will not let him in. He will die here, unless he fights, unless he kills. His hands move like tornado wind, drawing the 2 spear shaft halves from their leather holster. He notches the steel thread into the steel socket, transforming the pair of 2-foot lengths of roasted hickory into a single 4-foot-long pole. It is barely together before his right hand is drawing the spearhead. Even as the blue eyes come closer, Dovokar threads the spearhead onto the shaft and twists. As bad of a soldier as he has always been the fastest in the garrison at assembling his spear. This time, he assembled it faster than ever before, despite the terror raging in his heart and soul. He drops into a spearman's stance. He points the spear and its 2-foot-long blade toward the oncoming killers. They're closer now, close enough that a stray bit of firelight illuminates their pelts and the still wet blood smearing their muzzles and chests. They come in slowly, thick heads low to the ground, lips curled up from inch-long teeth. All 3 bear at least 1 bleeding wound. They have faced spears this night, and they are wary. 3 of them. Each weighs more than he does. He might kill one. Even if he does, the other 2 will bring him down. Without thinking, Dovokar turns, his hands again acting on their own. He slides the tip of the spearhead into the thin gap between the wooden door and its frame. Into and through. He hears the diggers closing in as he slides the blade up until he feels resistance. Then he lifts as hard as he can. The resistant gives for a moment, and he knows he has raised the wooden barricade bar out of its iron bracket. Dovokar throws his shoulder into the door, knocking it open, hitting it with so much force that he stumbles inside and falls, his spear clattering across the floor before him. "Camelton's beard!" a man yells. "Close it! Bar it!" Dovokar hears the diggers' urgent whines and fast footfalls as they rush forward. He stands in time to see his spearman slam the door close and lean against it. Scarlet-cloaked Warden Bismarten and a second soldier hurriedly drop a squared timber into iron U-brackets. 2 brackets on the door, 1 each on the wall to the left and right of it. Just as the door shudders against the heavy bodies of diggers throwing themselves against it, the timber rattles in its deep bracket, but holds tight. Thick claws scratch at the door. The whining howl of 4-legged murderers who just missed a meal. Dovokar made it. He made it. He lives still. Warden Bismarten turned sharply, the beads on his 3 beard braids whipping sideways like the chains of a flail. "You fool!" he says, snarling almost as wide as the beasts outside. "Now they know we are here!" Panting from exertion and shaking from fear, all Dovokar can do is nod. The door stops, rattling. The whining and scratching ceases. And then, soft and gentle, the rap of knuckles on the door. "Hello in there," calls a voice from outside. "I am looking for Warden Bismarten. I bring a message of blood and ash." Dovokar is shaking and creases, making his equipment rattle. He is a wind chime blowing in a storm. He led the stonehewer here, and now he is trapped inside. Dovokar picks up his spear. He stands, and like the other two spearmen, points the blade tip toward the door. Warden Bismarten draws his sword. For a few moments, Dovokar can hear only the frightened breaths of his fellow spearmen. The door explodes inward in a great calamity of snapping wood and rending iron, U-bracket pieces flying everywhere. In the open space where the door just stood stands a man wrapped in dark rags, holding a limp form in his arms. A tall man with blazing blue eyes. He tosses his burden into the hut, where it lands with a dead thud. It is the old woman who pleaded to be let out just before the diggers first closed in. Her clothes are shredded and bloody at her midriff. Her stomach is a gaping, mangled red void where her guts used to be. "I've come for you, Bismarten," the stonehewer says. His voice is cold as iron. "My love is vengeance, and I have come for you." His blazing blue eyes glow brighter as he steps into the hut. Saluvaunt is awake and asleep, the two states fluctuating and flickering, sometimes both at once, sometimes neither. He hears the witches scurrying about, talking to each other in rushed whispers. He can't see all that well. His vision is mostly a gray haze. But he can't see just enough to recognize the brass oil lamp he gifted to Janara 3 years earlier, on the anniversary of their marital binding. If that is the lamp, then he lies atop the pine table where he and his family once ate, where his son learned lessons about rocks and minerals, about how to dig, how to plant support structures to hold up countless tons of stone, how to search for digger sign and avoid those areas, where his wife taught his daughter how to sew, how to cut cloth, clean game, and prepare food. His family is dead. He watched spear and sword take their lives. Dead at the order of Warden Bismarten. Saluvaunt's belly is simultaneously numb, cold as ice, and raging with fire. The pain suffuses him, dominates him. "Saluvaunt, can you hear me?" The voice of Varuk, the witch who promised him revenge. "Yes," Saluvaunt says, although only half the word is a sound, the other half coming out as a dry husk. "Good," Varuk says. "It is better if you understand what is happening. We do not know if the rock drake can hear us. Once upon a time, he liked to watch things like this in person. He would appear as an old crone, hunched over and feeble, a heavy hood hiding his hideous head. You know of this?" Saluvaunt did. He had learned his lessons about the drake, the crone, and the three-headed digger at his father's table, had taught those same lessons to his own children at the table he lies on now. He tries to answer Varuk, but he can't find the air. So he nods. Or he tries to, but he can't do that either. He's not sure if he fell asleep or not, but the sound of men hurrying into the hut brings him awake. "2 pitchers, Varuk. Need we more?" It is Thornwick. "Of course we need more," comes the whisper of Darstad. "Yes, squeeze out more," Varuk says. 2 additional pitchers should be enough. Quickly now, while you can still gather it, and bring me some meat. I grow hungry." Saluvaunt hears the two witches hurry out of the hut, then feels and hears the creak of pine that he cut and finished himself as Varuk sits at his family table. "Steel is the problem," the witch says, as if Saluvaunt were seated opposite him, just two men sharing bread and discussing the coming winter storms. "It has changed the way things are. Steel has, I mean." Saluvaunt becomes aware that he can smell blood. His own, probably. "Steel makes weapons," Varuk says. "Weapons we cannot easily counter. Weapons that change the way power flows through the land. Evil men use steel to take lands that are not theirs, to clear them of people who live there, so that they can bring in their own kind. A single village is not enough for these men. They must have all the towns and all the land. Lord Hilentra is one such man. He is who must be stopped. To combat Hilentra steel weapons, we must wield a weapon of our own. That weapon will be you." Saluvaunt hears more of the witch's words, but some are lost to the pain pulsing through his open wounds. He is already tired of hearing the witch talk, so he focuses and forces out words of his own. "I want Warden." Varuk laughs. "Of course you do. And the gift I'm about to give you will make your desire come true, or at least give you a chance to make it come true. But the gift is not free, Saluvaunt. In that respect, I suppose it is not a gift at all. It is a transaction. To kill a weed, you must dig it up by the root. Bismarten and his soldiers with steel are the weed. The root is Lord Hilentra. You must embrace a blood pledge to find Hilentra and kill him. Kill him, his heirs, and any successors. Burn all that he owns or loves. Leave no one in place who can continue his conquests. Do you give your word that you will do this, Saluvaunt?" Saluvaunt slips under for a moment, maybe. Perhaps it's sleep, or perhaps it was the first true touch of death. But he cannot die yet. If agreeing to kill Hilentra will bring him to Bismarten, then that is the price that must be paid. "Yes," he says, and this time it is the whole word. He hears men entering his house, the swish-swish of calloused feet sliding across stone, the slosh-slosh of overfull pitchers. Have they brought him water? He is so thirsty. "Bathe him," Varuk says. Cold wetness splashes across Saluvaunt, and he realizes that it's not water. "The blood of the maligned," Darstad whispers. "Let it run into your wounds so that you never forget your calling or your bond to us." Saluvaunt feels tears in his eyes. He knows, somehow, that much of the blood splashing over him, running off the table to bead along the gaps in his orange stone floor, comes from his own wife and children. "Their essence will give you strength," Thornwick says. "Let their ashes be a part of you." A new pain erupts in Saluvaunt's belly. Thornwick is jamming his hand into the spear wound. Saluvaunt tries to leap from the table to knock the assault away, but he barely manages to sit up. Varuk shoves him down easily, a father pinning a toddler when it's time to administer medicine. The hand slides out of the wound. The ashes of the maligned are with you now, Thornwick says. Carry them with you from this day until the day you are no more. Maybe Saluvaunt sleeps. Maybe he passes out from the pain. He awakens sputtering, spitting out the taste of salty iron, some of which slides down his throat. He can't move at all. Varuk still has him pinned to the table. The blood of the maligned, Darstad whispers. Never forget. The last remaining dregs of Saluvaunt's strength vanish. He can do nothing. He is at the mercy of these mountain witches. He feels thumbs pressing against his closed eyelids, and he knows they are wiping away blood. Look at me, Varuk says. Saluvaunt opens his eyes. Some blood trickles in, stinging his eyeballs, washing away the tears spilled for his dead family. His vision is grayer than before, a blurry haze. He can see Varuk above him, his face upside down. The witch is standing at the table's end, just beyond Saluvaunt's head. Saluvaunt can see Varuk's tattoos and bone piercings, the missing teeth, the flaking skin, and eyes wild with the knowledge of ancient times. Some of that blood was from a digger, Varuk says. We bind you to them. We bind you to the land. We make you a weapon to clear this land of those who do not belong. The witch reaches out for something just beyond Saluvaunt's limited fuzzy range of vision. When those hands return, each holds a curved bone, a shape Saluvaunt knows well. Rib bones of a day digger. You will see as they see, Varuk says, his voice rising and cracking. You will see more than they see, far more than you ever saw as a man. Let the power of the land, the blessing of the blood, and the ashen end drive you, Saluvaunt. Let them forge you into a weapon. In Varuk's hands, the rib bones burst into a deep, cold blue light. The gleaming, glaring, pointed tips descend towards Saluvaunt's face. He wants to close his eyes, but he can't. For the briefest of moments, Saluvaunt wishes he still had some strength left, enough to vault off the table and run, but he cannot move. The blue bone tips come closer, slowly, steadily, inexorably. He sees them from a hair's breadth away before they punch into his eyes. Saluvaunt does have strength left after all. Strength enough to scream. That is part 3. Pause, save, file open. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get our OBS back up here. Turn this off now, and let's go chat. So that, I feel like that's what I would call subtly brutal. It's not really that over the top, but it does suck. I got LASIK surgery like, 30 years ago now. It was a long time ago. And they have to pin your eyes open. Let me go to the main for this. They pin your eyes open like this. Oops. And then they literally cut into them. And your eyes have to be open for the whole thing. So I could see this shit coming right at my eye. And I had decided I had made a horrible mistake and wanted to move. But once that thing was right there, I was not moving a muscle. And just crossing my fingers that the gentleman doing the cutting was neither an alcoholic, a pillhead or having any marital problems at that time that he might lose focus. So anyway, so that is part 3. We should complete part 4. Part 4 finally brings Saluvaunt and Dovokar together. And I think it's going to be pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Recluse Mage says, Scott, did they have a video screen in front of you so you could watch them do the procedure? Dude, back in the day of malls, they had a video screen in the window, the front window of the place that opened onto the mall. So you could watch other people's eyes getting cut. I don't think that lasted very long, but it was nasty, Eddie baby. It was nasty. Hello, baby girl.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm fine.
Thank you. Give us a minute. You're fine. Give us a minute here, ladies and gents. We got to get set up. Hopefully that'll do the trick.
Hey, pals. I can't. Am I on?
You are on now. Thanks for asking. How about now?
Sounds better to me. How about you guys? Hey, Sean. Nice to see you. Chat with you by email this week a little.
That's because of the scarves, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot to mention this, and I get my headphones on. Stop shouting.
Recluse Mage. You watched them do your own eyes.
That's wicked, bro.
I might.
Too much for me. Okay, so do I have you on, Sugar? Can you hear yourself okay?
I can kind of hear myself, but you turned me down a while ago in my own ears. So
well, let's bring you back. Because I'm not now. Talk a little bit.
How about now? Is this any better?
Yes, and you need more volume of your own. Let's get you hooked up.
Sure. Christine, thank you for sending the many, many mixtapes. I know you've been chatting it up in the chat rooms that you
Is that better?
It's fine. Donna's saying she can't hear me on YouTube. There it is. There it is. Whatever that is, did it.
Okay, that heard you. I'm not sure why she can't hear you. Let me take a quick look here.
Now it's really, really, really loud.
It's too loud for you?
A lot louder and a little bit echoey.
How's that?
Everybody's saying A's mic is off. I think it is now on, and the comments are catching up. It's fine for me.
Yeah, it's about a 20-second delay. So but you can hear yourself okay.
I can.
Great. Okay, good. Everybody, oh my God, bumblebees, Skibbity Sigler, please don't do this. Please don't ever call me Skibbities.
So you guys
so
tell
gross.
Me if my
I can't hear you either. It's so really strange. Low. Let me hold on. Oh, you know what? Try now.
How about this? Is this?
Gosh darn it! Give me a second, baby. Why don't you swing over here for a second and I'll switch cams. Swing over here and just vamp for a second because I did have a small problem earlier. Let me check the connection in the back. And you can use my headphones. Cheap ass cables I'm trying to go with.
All right, you guys. What was I just? Christine and in the chat room on, I think, Facebook is talking quite a lot about how she vastly prefers physical media and cassettes for her music enjoyment. And she said, we'll show them or maybe put them in the post if that's okay with you, Christine. So many, like, oh my goodness, so many beautiful mixtapes, like probably, I think maybe 15 or so. And they're all covers, spines. It's great. I will show you next week if that's okay with you, Christine. Anyway, that was really fun. Today, Scott and I had a crazy little thing happen. Not really, but super crazy. But I'll tell you since I'm vamping. We had a neighbor who moved out who was in the building right next door. Each building has 4 townhouses in it, so we're really close together. And they moved out on the 31st of January. And when they still lived here, they adopted a dog named Lulu. And Lulu was adopted from the Humane Society, and the Humane Society does a low-cost spay. If you adopt, like, you can choose how you do the fees. Do you pay for the spay at the time or blah, 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 blah. So they were trying to do that. And I said, oh, well, sure, I'll help, because we lived right next door. And it turned out that day was today, and we no longer live right next door. And also my friend something just changed in Pop Scott on my end.
Okay.
Regardless, my friend who owns the dog also is almost always off on Wednesdays, which was the whole plan, so that in case she had like an emergency or something, I could help. But she worked all day, and she works in an operating room, so she wasn't even accessible. But Lulu got spayed. She's home safe. Everything is good. I'm very happy about that. Let's see. What else? Are we trying something else?
I'm still trying stuff.
Okay.
You're doing a
I'm
great
still
job.
vamping.
Keep chit-chatting.
Let's see what else.
Gosh, that is loud as fuck. Okay, that's not working.
We
Need about 2 minutes, man.
we finally got some new bedroom furniture when we decided that we would lock down together back in 2020. We were both single. We didn't have enough any bedroom furniture, so we were piecemealing some of his and some of mine and stuff like that. And we finally, just this month, got new bedroom furniture. I'm quite excited about it. It is the first time in my adult life that every piece of my dressers and nightstands and they all match exactly. I'm very excited about it. Let's see what else.
2 more. I gotta change out the cable. I don't know what happened.
Oh, okay.
That's the way it goes.
That's the way it goes. Let's see what else. Scott's cousin, Merciless. We will talk a little bit about this when we are actually recording, but Scott's cousin, Merciless, had a show this past Saturday night. It was wicked fun. San Diego, you guys have heard, Super Weapon is Merciless's band, and he's played out a handful of times in San Diego. Almost always a little bit inland, because that's where the venues are, because closer to the water, it's more dancing or outdoor activities or enjoying the water itself. So bigger venue, venues where you can do a whole night of live music, a little bit further inland, almost always 1 billion degrees when we go see the Super Weapon show. But this was in March, and it was lovely, and it was super fun, and they did a great job. They were they were on a 3-band ticket, and they were my favorite, of course. And let's see what else. It was my friend Jim's birthday, and Super Weapon called him out from the
We have to
stage.
shut this down to restart.
Okay. Whenever
Check,
we get
check,
this,
check. There we go. Gotcha.
all right. Whenever we get this started, we're going to shut this down, restart, and come back. Please stay with us, because we're going to talk heated rivalry. I'll let him sit down and take over now. So lovely to chat.
Thank you. Good job. Appreciate it. She's a pro, ladies and gentlemen. Now, my voice probably screaming in your ears, right?
No, that's okay.
Is it okay? Okay.
Oh yeah, this sounds a lot better to me anyway. I still sound a little echoey to myself versus that. Oh, that's a lot better.
That's me. Yeah, because you were getting echo from my mic because your Q send from my mic was through the roof.
Got it.
Okay.
All righty.
So these ordered custom cables, and then we got a thing where I'll just make the long story short. This is a Gator, company's called Gator. It's a Gator crater tree. So there's these boom arms that come up and over the monitors, except in their infinite wisdom, they encased the XLR cable inside the monitor. You can't swap it out. It's like inside steel. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to try and use these chintzy cables, see if they work, but they don't work. So now we went back to A's custom cables, which are green because A likes the color green.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So now, once again, the reminder, housekeeping. Let's go to housekeeping. And then as soon as I get done with housekeeping, guys, we're going to shut this down and come back and talk about heated rivalry, which I think is going to be a very interesting discussion. I think A and I have different takes on it, but this is a friggin' smash hit. It's actually, in my opinion, it's an important piece of entertainment at this particular time, but I'm not going to spoil that. We're going to talk all about it. Let's go to housekeeping. Sunday, March 1st, mixtape track 13, Behind Blue Eyes Part 2, hit the podcast feed. Thursday, March 5th, Deep Cuts 87, How Much Backstory Do You Need? Hit the pod. No, this is before, isn't it?
No.
Is that right?
March 8th.
Oh, right, because we doubled up 1 week. March 5th, Deep Cuts 87, How Much Backstory Do You Need? Hit the podcast feed. And then Sunday, March 8th, Deep Cuts 88, Where Do We Go From Here? Where A and I discussed what we're going to do with the cast going forward, because we're not going to be doing an original story every week. Still be doing some original stories, when the mood and the opportunity strikes us, but it's things are going to change. So if you missed that, you can go back and you can watch that and you can be caught up on where our noggins are at. And then
before we jump over to the new stuff, I was wondering, have you seen any benefit from that yet? Are you able to focus for longer during your writing sessions and that kind of thing?
Well, this week I wrote mixtape Behind Blue Eyes, part 3, wrote that yesterday and did a good job. I was very focused and got it done. But today had to, reread it, go through it, etc. And also today was able to clear out 1.5 chapters in the final draft of GFL Book 7 and was pretty sharp and pretty focused with that. So that's very good. I have a huge problem with focus. And when I'm in a giant ass project like a book for too long, I sort of get mind-boggly and weighed down in it and wind up realizing, oh my God, I've been reading about penguins for the past 14 minutes. I don't exactly know how I got onto penguins, etc. So, but today was really good, really focused. So all is going very well. So I'm very optimistic. And let's see, last bit of housekeeping. As A and I move towards the two concepts for these live streams, which number one is sports entertainment. That's not WWE, although we will talk about WWE if it comes up. Great storylines in there. TV shows about sports, movies about sports, games about sports, etc. We're trying to find little things to talk about where we can discuss them with you. And if you've watched it or played it or seen it, great. If not, it doesn't matter. We're going to talk about it encapsulated. And tonight is our pilot. Tonight, I guess we'd say is our pilot episode with heated rivalry. And then also sports in general. So addressing what is the current hot button topic in sports. We're going to flip on the cameras. We're going to talk about those things. And got to go back to Maine because we just finished this up, but I believe I've updated. Yes, Steve the Iceberg, Ricky Berg's next junkie party is Saturday, April 4th. Hopefully I have the date right. Usually I do this graphic.
Right. Yeah.
I do this graphic and Ed goes, honey, that's not the right date. I'm like,
first
damn it!
Saturday of the month.
I shake my fist.
Yes. This past Saturday was the March Junkie Party, which I was unable to attend because I was at the Super Weapon show, but don't seem to have any plans for April 4th. So
Chris Grawl.
We'll be telling Easter stories.
Chris Grawl, Burn in Hell, Chris Grawl. Mm-hmm. I sent off Warpath on what day? Do you remember? Sunday? Yep. Sunday,
Monday, I think.
Monday.
I
sent off Warpath on Monday, and that's the third time I've sent off Warpath. I'm being a pissy bitch about it, and that's just the way it's going to be. So this is my second editor who's come in after the whole thing is done. Sent it off, and then today I started to check in on them. Titan Books is a UK company. They do a lot of super cool stuff. They do all the Predator tie-ins, all the Alien tie-ins.
They do quite a lot of tie-ins.
A lot of tie-ins, and a lot of really cool original stuff. Delilah Dawson is with them now. She's a friend of ours, an extraordinarily talented, hardworking writer. So they do a lot of really good things. What they don't do good right now is audiobooks. So this is the 4th book from Alcon Entertainment in a partnership with Titan. So Alcon is like, we have this great IP, hire a guy to write it, hire a person to write it for us, and then give the book to Titan because Titan knows how to publish books. So far in this mix, audiobooks have completely gotten dropped. So the next thing I am working on as a tertiary goal, far down below GFL 7, Crypt 3, and Slay. I don't even know what Slay we're on. At any rate, that's now what I'm working on. A says Slay 4. You guys, there won't even be a Warpath 2. I'm telling you. A Brinks truck full of hundos is not going to be dropping enough stacks off in our driveway to make me go through this process again. And even
for 3 years,
even as I say this, in the back of my head, I'm like, because I am saying I will not do another one, someone's going to back a Brinks truck full of money up to our place and be like, babe, it's a Brinks truck full of money. And then A will make that decision because as we are learning 20 years now in our business, I'm not good at deciding what project to do next, you guys, because I say yes to everything. So we have had lots of talks about like, oh, so about this real quick. We'll go to deep cuts in a second, but for me, no more short stories, no more of anything until, was it June?
Well, until you meet the 3 projects you think you'll be done with by June 1st.
And those 3 projects are, she's better at this than I am, GFL Book 7 Final Draft, which we're super close on. The goal is to be done with that by April 5th. And then it is...
Crypt Book 3.
No.
Or Slay Book 3. Sorry, Slay Book 1.
Which we are...
Right. No,
yes.
No.
So there's something happening with Slay Book 1, which A and I will talk to you about in a little while. And Rob's aware of it, but so far it's only Rob, A, and I know what's going on with it. And it's not a movie or a TV show. Shut your pie holes.
Steve is saying to turn A up on the
stream. Okay, cool. Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, Steve.
Turn you up on the stream, huh? That's great. Talk a little bit, babe.
I'm talking a little bit. I'm getting a little bit closer to the mic and maybe getting a little bit louder myself.
Yeah. Okay, let's do this. Let's bring me down a little bit in the main.
I will, while I am just
and that
vamping,
should do the thing.
I will say that we have received a handful of feedback and requests and questions by email, some on Facebook Messenger, about whether or not we want you to cancel your Warpath pre-order in protest. No. And we certainly don't want that, mostly because for as much of a slug as it has become, it's a really, I will say, it's one of those things like Nocturnal where it's unique. You haven't read something like this before, but it is absolutely Sigler. It's not you haven't read it in the Siglerverse either, but it is 100% Sigler. And I think for that reason, you guys deserve it and deserve to see how much work he actually put into it.
It's really awesome. The story is tangentially related to the state of Michigan and related to where Rob and I and Danny Baker grew up. And Rob Tinnerella is not here right now. He's a friend of the show, Paul Carlson. It is very, very germane to the history of our town and our area. Even though most of the story doesn't take place in our town or our area, it is also, I think, content, historical fiction, the likes of which you have never seen, and probably also would be near and dear to Chris Grawl, author of Trigger Guard and friend of ours, friend of the show. There's just some fucking super cool shit in it, and it's crazy violent, and it's definitely old school Sigler, but it's not Siglerverse. Do not cancel your order. It's you guys are gonna like it. That's all I can say. You're gonna like it if they keep it named Warpath, because now they're thinking about changing the title of the book. So we will see. We will see what happens, ladies and gentlemen. But I'm doing my best to bring it to you guys. And so we talked about Steve. Okay. Oh, and then of course, let's go to, I got to remember to talk about, I shouldn't have done that. Ooh, that's a problem. Give me a second, babe. Oh, I fucking lost it. Damn it.
Talk about. David Lamb says that you are quieter on, it says Scott's volume has dropped.
Scott's volume has dropped. Yep. I dropped it down too much. Let me go into, we have a little iPad we can use to track stuff, and it's great, but it's not the granularity of it is not that great. Bring me up to 0. And baby, I'm bringing up a little boost past 0.
Okay.
Because you're a little quieter than me.
Okay.
I get the hiccups. Let everybody catch up. Sean asked in the chat room, they think they'll have a better title than Warpath. I'm skeptical. So am I. The title is a play on words, but there are massive Native American, indigenous cultural elements in the story, and Titan is concerned that people will be offended. So this last draft was a huge pass on, really trying as hard as we can for a guy who looks like this to be writing a story about Native American characters to make it as non-offensive as we can, as non-potentially offensive as we can.
That's the way to say it.
They're really going deep, deep, deep to be like, well, we had a sensitivity reader and this might be an issue to some people. So we're down to like, This is racist, covered, no problem. This is potentially offensive, covered, no problem. Now we're down to like, there are some elements who might perceive this as possibly bothersome. And that's where we've gone through and we're working with Titan. It's like, okay, that's an issue. Can we just shift it? Can we just keep the same thing, but move it around a little bit?
I'm going to do rapid fire 2 answers, and then we're going to actually start deep cuts because we should probably get that going. The 2 more things about Warpath that'll answer. Chris Southwick asks in the Facebook chat room, how much say does a publisher have on these types of things when it comes to a story from you? And the answer is quite a bit, depending. It sort of depends on how this comes to be. And in this case, the publisher came bespoke to Scott to say, I want you to do this. We figured that out, which meant they had quite a lot of say in what was the story that they wanted Scott to tell. But at this point, it is well past the point where they should be having any more revisions. And I think that will be the way that it will probably go. And then the other question, Recluse Mage in the Twitch chat room, I think asked, did we have First Nation people put eyes on this? And the answer is absolutely yes. And Scott just talked about that. That's the sensitivity reader.
Yeah. Titan helped with that, and that was great. I had a difficult time finding someone to read this, but that is Titan's job. They're the publisher. They've got the bigger pocketbooks than we have. So before we dive in, and before we switch over, and we're having a great conversation, this is what's up on Penguin Random House right now. And to this day, it's a thrill to have anything on the Penguin Random House website because they're a huge, huge publisher.
That's fun.
And it's overwhelming.
Ah, that's so nice.
Yeah, for the nerdy kid who bought a typewriter when he was in the 4th grade to write shit, to have this, this is up on their site.
That's the best thing I've heard all day.
And it's I'm verklempt. This is now the 8th time, something like that. I am verklempt every fucking single time I see this shit. And now I also want to mention this. This is the book I'm listening to right now. Chris Grawl, take note. The guys at Athon turned me on to this, say, hey, Sig, you might like this book. Ironbound by Andrew Givler, narrated by Ralph Lister. This is progression fantasy, which is what Dungeon Crawler Carl is. And He Who Fights Monsters is. But this reads like a regular book. It doesn't read like a person who's playing a video game or is suddenly being sucked into the video game. It's much more subtle, and I'm rolling on it right now. It's one of the best things I've read in a long, long time. So I just want to share that. Void Strike, up over 200 ratings. Wonderful. We're making progress. You guys, if you have listened to Void Strike on Audible, review it on Audible, give it that 5 stars, like up all the reviews. Let's see if there are any reviews here. Nope, nothing new. And that's what I forgot. If you like listening to the podcast, the stories in the podcast, but you don't like the ads, go to scottsigler.supportingcast.fm, and that is the home of Scott Sigler Slices, where we have our bonus feeds, which are ad-free. At the very least, make sure you're over here in the Stay Notified, which costs you nothing, but you don't get ad-free content, but you are going to know what's going on. Ad-free junkie, $5 a month, the cost of a cup of coffee. You get all of our feeds without ads in it. It's great. And then they go up, prices go up from there, the full dose. There's bonus elements all across the board. Strung Out Addict, $250 a year. That's a lot of money, but you get a perk. We're going to be showing our Kraken scarf very, very soon that only people at that tier and above can get. So we're still keeping all of our stuff right now free, ad supported, no problem. If you want to bump up to the ad free, that costs you a little money. So everybody still wins. Everybody wins. Ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. We're now going to jump on over, move it on over. Can't hide that. I can close this though. Sorry, I'm getting hyped. Get back to the script. Okay, guys, we're now going to pop out. We'll be back in probably 60 seconds to 2 minutes. Dawn says, what site is that? I'm not sure which site. We're a little bit ahead of you guys.
That's supportingcast.fm?
Yep, I'll type it in right here.
And that's where you do you can look at all of that. It's a Patreon-esque kind of a thing to give options to support the cast if you want.
Okay, we're going to sign off. You guys,